Duplicitous, lying Joe Biden. We're going to play two quick sounds and get you to react. Hang on 1 second. Listen and weep.
My administration has not stopped or slowed U.S. oil production. Quite the opposite. The problem is these guys are asleep.
No more drilling on federal lands. No more drilling, including offshore. No ability for the oil industry to continue to drill, period.
I mean, Rick Perry, you know, I understand politicians will stretch the truth. I understand political people will have a fib here or there. I understand that even economists in the government might be guilty. But how does he get away with flat out lies saying, I didn't stand in the way, this and that? He said they were asleep. And then you look at, of course, he's done everything he can, Rick, to prevent fossil fuel development, which is the heart of the problem in the first place, which, as Pompeo was saying with me, got us playing footsie with Iran, wrecking the economy. High energy prices and inflation are going to doom the Democrats. Rick Perry, how does he get away with that? Why does he do that?
Well, he's not going to get away with it. November the 8th is going to be a great day of reckoning when the American people stand up and send a message. And a lot of the vote out there, Larry, is going to be, we're going to send Joe Biden a message that we're not the fool. You can't take us for chumps and just look us in the eye and say, hey, I didn't have anything to do with stopping the oil production that's driving up the gas prices. He's blamed everybody in the world except who's really at fault here, who is himself and his administration. He started out blaming the small mom and pop gasoline companies out there, the people pumping the gas. He blamed them first. I was stunned. Then he went after big oil. Of course, that's a regular throwdown for people like him. Then he blamed Putin, and I mean, he's blamed everybody in the world, and then he's going to blame the Saudis. It's the Saudis' fault. And the fact is, Putin wouldn't be in Ukraine if Donald Trump was the president of the United States. I know that. I think most Americans know that. The Russians saw the way that we left Afghanistan. They saw the way that Biden capitulated on the Nord Stream 2 pipeline, and they said, you know what? We can go into Ukraine, and this president will not do anything about it. And they were right. So the idea that the American people are going to sit there and believe this president looking into the camera and blatantly lying to them is a truth. They are not going to believe him, and they're going to pay back, and they're going to pay back in full on the 8th of November.
Well, I think, you know, of course, I agree with you. I don't think he has any self-awareness idea, Rick, of how much damage these statements he makes are to him, to his own political career, and to his own political party. And I just wanted to circle back, something you said that's very important. If Trump were president, Putin would have not gone into Ukraine. There are probably many reasons for that, and you were involved in both domestic policy and foreign policy. But one reason was the price of oil under Trump and your policies and so forth. You know, we were running, what, $50, $60, $70 a barrel, that kind of thing, maybe $40 to $60 a barrel. Well, Putin couldn't run a war on $40, $50 a barrel, but he could run a war on $100 a barrel, which is what happened when Biden shut the spigots down. And I think that's just almost a lost point in this whole debate.
Yeah, absolutely. The economics here, and this is all about supply and demand, Larry. Of all the people who understand that I ever dealt with, you're at the top of that list. Supply and demand really matters. And this president, by shutting down American production, the most prolific oil and gas producing country in the world, we were independent of any other sources of oil. And in a short 18-month period of time, almost a year period of time, he reversed that, put America in jeopardy, both economically and in a foreign policy and a national security sense.
Rick, just in the last minute, so if the cavalry's coming, take the House, take the Senate, is there something that can be done? I mean, I know the intention is to do it, but to use the Congressional Review Act or some darn thing that would open up the permitting and open up the leasing that the Bidens have shut down? I mean, you have a recommendation that, when you talk to Kevin McCarthy and folks like that?
here's what I think, Larry. Senator Capito, West Virginia, has got a permitting bill. I suspect that that's going to get passed in a hurry with a Republican-controlled Senate. I think the House will pass it in a heartbeat with Kevin and his folks over there. So Senator Capito, I think she's going to be a really, really important person to get America back on track in a hurry with that permitting bill that she's carrying.
I mean, I would think, and I sure hope you're right, and I know the bill is a good bill, that'll have an impact certainly on futures prices, but that stuff gets arbitraged back, into the current price range. So that by itself would probably be a big help to the onerous energy prices.
Yeah, well, you're going to see with a Republican House, Republican Senate, the message is going to be clear to the oil and gas industry. Those individuals will again go back. I think you'll be able to see them raising money, being able to put the dollars in for the drilling programs, the E&P, the midstreams, building the pipelines out. And I think you will see a build out of refineries. I think there's some of these new companies that are looking at modular refineries that can really get America back being a major producer of the fuels that we need to drive the fossil fuel engines that are going to make a huge difference in people's lives.
Yeah, great point. And the cleanest. It'll be the cleanest in the world. None of this crap from Venezuela or Iran or any other stuff. Anyway, former Energy Secretary, Governor of Texas, my dear friend Rick Perry. Thank you, Rick. We appreciate it very much. God bless.